He had just graduated from one of the best universities in the world. He had job offers waiting. A future that looked exactly like what success is supposed to look like. And he walked away from all of it to become a monk. His family said was wasting his life. His friends said never recover. His culture said there were rules, and he was breaking every single one. And here is what he said back, not out loud, but in the quiet of his own decision. I can feel helpless and still follow hope. Both things can be true. And I can still keep moving. Today we are going to talk about 3 things that I think every woman in this room is quietly wrestling with. Purpose, what it actually is, and why most of us are looking for it in completely the wrong place. Love, why we keep choosing the same patterns, and how to finally build something that actually holds. And the mind, why you cannot meditate, why your anxiety won't quit, and what you can do tonight, in the next 5 minutes, to start changing that. This is not a self-help lecture. This is a conversation about what it means to actually live, not just survive. If that is the kind of content that makes you feel less alone, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on notifications because we bring you exactly this every single week. Now let's begin. Part 1. The 2 lessons that changed everything. What a monk taught an 18-year-old that most of us never learn. Imagine being 18 years old and meeting someone who gave up a gold medal from one of the most prestigious engineering schools in the world to become a monk. Not because he failed. Not because he had no other options. But because he chose it. And the first question you might ask is, why? Why would anyone do that? And the answer he gave, the answer that changed the trajectory of a young man's entire life, was this. 2 things. Just 2. The first, master your emotions. Master your senses. Throughout your life, your emotions will pull you in 1,000 directions. Your senses will crave, pursue, chase 1,000 different things. And if you can develop the ability to observe that without being controlled by it, you will master your life. The second, if you do not use your gifts in the service of others, if your talents are not directed toward actually helping someone, they have no value. Not because you are selfish, but because gifts that circle inward eventually collapse. Gifts that flow outward grow. I want to sit with those 2 things for a moment, because I think most of us were given neither of those lessons at 18, or 28, or 38. We were given a different set of instructions. Get a degree, get a job, get married, get a house, get kids, get stable. And somewhere in the middle of executing that checklist, many of us quietly wonder, is this it? Is this what it was supposed to feel like? Why am I doing all the right things and still feeling like something is missing? What is missing for so many of us is not the achievement. It is the meaning underneath it. The sense that what we are doing matters to someone beyond ourselves. And here is what the research consistently shows. People who experience the highest levels of long-term well-being, not happiness, not pleasure, but deep sustainable well-being, are people who have a clear sense of purpose that extends beyond themselves. This is not spiritual opinion. This is neuroscience. This is psychology. This is what the data says. Takeaway number 1. You do not have to become a monk to access this. You do not have to quit your job or upend your life. But you do need to ask yourself, honestly, without the answer you think you should give, what am I doing that makes someone else's life better? Not perfectly. Not grandly. Just in some small, real daily way. Start there. And watch what happens. Part 2. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. The myth of the timeline and the truth about becoming. Let me tell you something that I think will give a lot of people in this room permission to exhale. He started a YouTube channel at 29. His first video got 100 views. He was thrilled. 1,000 subscribers in his first month. He thought it was incredible. His friends thought it was cute. Not a serious career. Not a real future. Nice try, Jay. His videos went on to reach over 1 billion people. But before that, he spoke in rooms of 2, of 3, of 4. For 10 years. He did not know how big it would get. He did not need to know. He just needed to keep going for the one person who showed up. We live in a culture obsessed with timelines. If I'm not married by 30, if I'm not promoted by 35, if I'm not healed by 40, if I haven't figured it out by now, something must be wrong with me. And the truth, the quiet, uncomfortable, liberating truth, is this. You are not ahead. You are not behind. You are not fast. You are not slow. You are exactly where you are. And where you are is teaching you something that you cannot learn from anywhere else. The experiences that have broken you are not mistakes. They are the material from which your purpose is being built. Your pain is not a detour. It is the curriculum. There is a beautiful piece of research from the Yale School of Management about hospital cleaners. 2 groups. Same pay. Same shifts. Same hospital. But one group called themselves cleaners. The other called themselves healers. The healers believed that a clean hospital was integral to a patient's recovery. That dignity, comfort, and family presence, all of it depended in some small way on them. And they were happier, more purposeful, more alive in their work. Nothing about their job had changed. Their relationship to it had. Wayne Dyer said it best. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Takeaway number 2. If you are feeling stuck right now, in a job, in a relationship, in a chapter of your life that doesn't feel like the right chapter, ask yourself this. What is this moment teaching me? Who am I becoming in it? And how might I use what I am learning here to help someone else who will someday be exactly where I am now? You are not stuck. You are in preparation. Before we go into the part of this conversation that I think is going to land the hardest, the part about love, I want to pause for just a moment. Because if any part of what we have talked about so far has resonated with you, if something has clicked, if something has made you feel a little less alone, that is exactly why we make this. And the most powerful thing you can do right now to help us reach more women who need this conversation is to hit the like button. Takes 1 second. And it tells the algorithm that this kind of content matters. If you have not subscribed yet, please do that now. Because the conversation we are about to have about love is one I do not want you to miss. And neither do your friends. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Okay, let's go. Part 3, Love. Why we keep choosing the same story, building something new from the bricks of the old here, is something that most of us have never been told about how we choose who we love. The love our parents gave us, its shape, its language, its presence or absence, becomes the template for what we seek in a partner. If your parents showed love through acts of service, you will likely look for a partner who does things for you. If your parents showed love through words of affirmation, you will likely hunger for a partner who tells you. If your parents were emotionally unavailable, you may find yourself drawn to people who are hard to reach. Not because you are broken, but because familiar feels like home, even when home was never quite safe. We do this subconsciously, without knowing, without choosing. We are simply following the blueprint we were handed at birth. And here is the invitation, to look at that blueprint with honesty, to say, this is what I received, this is what I am still looking for. And this is what I actually want, which may be something different entirely. There is a poem about building a relationship that I find quietly devastating in its accuracy. It goes something like this. Both of us are coming from broken homes. Not broken because our parents split up. Broken because no home is perfect. No childhood is whole. And instead of asking the other person to come and live in our broken home, to navigate our rubble and apologize for theirs, what if we took the best bricks that remained and built something new together? That is not a romantic fantasy. That is a practice. It requires 3 things. Step 1, self-awareness. Do you actually know who you are? Not who you think you should be. Not who your parents wanted you to be. Not who your last relationship made you into. Who are you? What do you value? What are your non-negotiables? What are you genuinely willing to grow in? And what are you not? Step 2, articulation. Can you tell another person who you are in plain, honest language? Not in hopes they will accept you. Not performing. Not auditioning. Just, this is who I am. This is what matters to me. This is what I need. And then giving them the same space to do the same. Step 3, and this is the most important one, stop trying to change people. Not into who they could be. Not into who you need them to be. Not into who you believe they should be if only they would try harder. Because the truth is this, if you are trying to change someone into a different version of themselves, you are essentially saying you want to be with a different person than the one standing in front of you. And no amount of effort, no amount of love, no amount of good intention will make that person into someone they are not. And even if they tried, even if they changed everything you asked them to change, you would find something else. Because the need was never really about them. A therapist once told a couple who had come in, exhausted and resentful, trying to save something that was not working. With daily therapy, You might be able to change 10% of each other. So I want you to look at each other and ask, do I love 90% of this person? They did not. And that was the answer. Not a failure. A clarity. The kindest, cleanest thing a difficult truth can offer. Takeaway number 3. Before you try to change your partner, ask yourself, am I trying to improve this relationship, or am I trying to create a different partner? If the answer is the latter, the most loving thing you can do for both of you is to be honest about that. Because you cannot build secure love on a foundation of, if only you were different. Secure love is built on I see who you actually are, and I am choosing you anyway. Part 4. I love you because the 3 most dangerous words in love. What conditional love does to the people we love most. There is a piece of wisdom from one of the world's foremost therapists that stopped me completely the first time I heard it. We often feel compelled to tell people why we love them. I love you because you are so talented. I love you because you are so smart. I love you because you are so beautiful. I love you because you are such a good mother. And we think we are being generous. We think we are filling them up. But here is what because actually does. It tells the other person that their love is conditional, that they are lovable because of something they do or have or are. And the moment that thing changes, the moment they are less talented, less smart, less beautiful, less capable, the love becomes uncertain. And so they spend their lives protecting the because. Working harder to be talented enough. Trying harder to be smart enough. Never quite feeling safe in the love because the love is always attached to a performance. This is especially important to understand when it comes to our children. When we tell a child you are so gifted or you are so smart or you are so beautiful, and we say it as though it is a compliment, we are actually handing them a weight. Because what happens on the day they fail? On the day they are not the smartest in the room? On the day they look in the mirror and do not see beautiful? The love we most deeply crave, every single one of us, regardless of age, regardless of achievement, is love that exists regardless of what we do or what we have or who we are. Love that is simply, I love you. Full stop. No because. No condition. No performance required. Takeaway number 4. Practice saying I love you without adding a reason. To your partner. To your children. To yourself. And notice how difficult that is. Notice the pull to justify it. To earn it. To explain it. That pull is where so much of our pain lives. And learning to love and be loved without a because is one of the most healing things we can ever do. Part 5. The mind. Why you cannot meditate and what to do instead. Making peace with 80,000 thoughts a day. Let me guess. You have tried to meditate. You sat down. You closed your eyes. And within 45 seconds you were thinking about the email you forgot to send, the thing your partner said last Tuesday, whether you turned off the oven, and whether you are doing meditation wrong because you cannot stop thinking about all of that. You are not doing it wrong. You are doing it exactly the way every human brain approaches silence for the first time. Here is what the research says. We have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day. 80% of them are negative. And 80% of them are the same thoughts we had yesterday. So not only are you having the same thought over and over again, it is the same negative thought. Every day. On repeat. Like a song you did not choose playing in a loop that you cannot find the off switch for. Meditation is not about making those thoughts stop. It is about developing the ability to observe them, to notice them arrive, acknowledge them, and choose not to follow them into the spiral. But here is the thing. Most of us do not have the bandwidth right now to master 60,000 thoughts per day. And that is okay. You do not have to start there. Start with one thought. Actually, start with 2. The first thought of your day. And the last thought of your night. Think about this. You set your alarm at night. You do not set it in the morning. You are already programming something the night before. What if you also programmed how you want to wake up? Before you go to sleep tonight, say to yourself out loud or in your mind, I am waking up calm. I am waking up rested. I am waking up clear. However you want to feel when your alarm goes off tomorrow, set that intention tonight. And in the morning, before you reach for your phone, before you check your messages, before the day begins its demands, choose one thought. One intentional, deliberate thought. Today I am showing up for myself. Today I am present. Today I am enough. That is not a small thing. That is the beginning of taking your mind back from the automatic, the anxious, the repetitive, and handing it back to yourself. And one more thing about the mind that I think matters deeply for anyone who struggles with anxiety. What you consume before sleep matters more than most of us realize. The true crime documentary, the late night news, the Instagram scroll through conflict and catastrophe. Your nervous system does not distinguish between what is happening on a screen and what is happening in your life. Processes threat as threat, and it takes hours to downregulate. So if you are someone who lies awake at night with your heart racing and your thoughts circling, before you reach for medication or another coping strategy, try 1 week of turning off the screens 1 hour before bed, and see what happens. Takeaway number 5. You do not need a meditation practice to start changing your mind. You need 2 intentions, the last thought of your night, and the first thought of your morning. Start there. Do it tonight, and do it again tomorrow. That is how a practice begins. Not in a retreat, not in a studio, in the quiet moment before you close your eyes. So let's come back to where we started. A young man, standing at the threshold of everything he was supposed to want, choosing something no one around him understood, feeling helpless and hopeful at the same time, and moving forward anyway. He spent 10 years speaking to rooms of 2, of 3, of 4. He did not know what it would become. He only knew that one person showed up, and that one person was enough to keep going. Here is what I want you to carry from everything we talked about today. 1. Your purpose is not something you find. It is something you build, one person at a time, one moment of genuine service at a time. Start with one person. Start with today. 2. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not on the wrong path. The experiences that have broken you are not obstacles to your purpose. They are the material it is made from. 3. Secure love is built on seeing who someone actually is and choosing them, not on trying to change them into who you need them to be. The goal is not a perfect partner. The goal is an honest one. 4. Stop saying I love you because. Love that is tied to a because is a performance. Love that simply is love without a reason, without a condition, without a qualification. That is the love every single one of us was born needing. Practice giving it to others and to yourself. 5. You do not need to master 80,000 thoughts. You need to master 2, the last thought of tonight and the first thought of tomorrow. Start there, and trust that the rest will follow. And here is the thread that connects all of this to everything we talk about on this channel. Secure love, the kind that lasts, the kind that heals, the kind that holds us when everything else feels uncertain, starts with a relationship to ourselves, to our own mind, to our own purpose, to our own worth, not because of what we do or what we have achieved or what we look like, but simply because we exist. That is where it begins. And it begins tonight, with the last thought you choose to carry into sleep. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the one thing from today's conversation that you needed to hear the most? Was it the permission to stop feeling behind? The invitation to love without a because? The 2-thought meditation? Tell me. I read every single comment, and your answer might be exactly what someone else needed to see today. And if you know someone who is feeling stuck, lost, or quietly wondering if they chose the wrong path, please share this video with them. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for someone is hand them a different way of seeing the life they are already living. If you are not subscribed yet, this is your moment. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and I will see you right here next week. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you then. Blue Heart.